All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers. This is our morning eCom motivation. So we do this every day, Monday through Friday. We talk about a specific topic when it comes to you and your e-commerce journey. And today's topic is time management. In addition to that, we talk about strategies that can help you to get more organized, more focused, more consistent, increase your productivity, improve your consistency, help with your organization and your e-commerce business. So, my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey. If that is you and you need some support getting organized, helping with your productivity, helping you to be more consistent, I'm here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me, and I'd be happy to sit down and let's look at your schedule. Let's look at your business. Let's put together a schedule if you don't have one. In addition to that, if you need support along the way, I encourage you to join eCom Sellers Academy. It's $17.99 a month, and we have so many different training videos, over 200 training videos. You get a free retail and online arbitrage leads list every single week, plus you gain access to a free wholesale list as well. And you'll also participate in our, or you can if you want to, our weekly live training sessions and weekly live Q&A where we talk about what's working now. In any case, the last thing is that if you don't have an e-commerce planner, I want to invite you to grab one. It is the ultimate e-commerce planner. It was created for sellers by sellers, and it is designed to help you with that organization that we're talking about. So we are live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. And again, today's topic is time management. So time management, we all sometimes struggle with time management and trying to figure out what to do, when to do it, how to do it. How to regain control of where we're wasting time, spending time, investing time, not only in our business, but also sometimes in our personal life. What are those things that we're doing that are really not serving us well? And so the goal is to ultimately get to that sweet spot where we improve our productivity through time management, figuring out how to regain control of where we're wasting time or spending time. And our article comes to us from Camp Time Camp. I think we probably covered it before in the last maybe 2 months. And so it's 15 most effective and proven time management techniques. So it feels like it might be familiar, but we'll see. So we're going to talk about the different techniques for time management, and we're going to start with number one. Number one says to plan your day in advance. We absolutely do that with this ecom daily motivation, morning motivation. Um, so if you're not doing anything to plan your day in advance, definitely download the daily ecom checklist, the planning checklist that's inside of the e-commerce planning Facebook group. You can also download it from download the weekly checklist and the monthly checklist again from the Facebook group. Planning your day in advance, I encourage you to spend at least 5 to 15 minutes doing that. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it kind of gives you the opportunity to kind of visualize what your day is going to be and kind of walk through it. Number two, limit your email intake, especially first thing in the morning. Limit the amount of time that you spend in email. Also, limit the amount of time you spend on social media, but limit the amount of time that you spend on email. Maybe just commit 30 minutes. And when you do that, make sure it's not the very, 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 very first thing you do. Depends. Some models indicate that just knocking out email first thing, sending emails, and then reviewing the responses midday. Others say don't open your email, do and perform an income producing activity first in your business. Whichever method works for you, try it out, but definitely reduce the amount of time that you spend in email and also on social media. Number four, um, find your productivity zone. I have talked about this so much. All of us have a most productive time of the day, whether we recognize it or not, whether we even appreciate it or not. It is that time of day, and you may have to log and track for a little bit before you figure out which one is yours. But it's that window where you feel like you get the most things done. Like you can burn through a list of stuff. And for some people, it's first thing in the morning after they gone out after they've either gone out and exercised and came back, and they're like they can burn through like a bunch of activities and tasks in their business and in their personal life in like the first 3 or 4 hours of the day. And so it's a morning thing for them. Other people, they get a second wind and they do it, they go work out after work, and then they come back and they can work, you know, another 2 or 3 hours just to burn through their list of things that they need to do in their business. So you got to figure out where your most productive time of the day is, where it is, where you have the most energy, where you feel like you have the most focus, where you feel like you get the most things done. Identify that most productive time of the day. And we're going to use that window to your advantage. It may take you a week's worth of tracking, or maybe even two, just to really figure it out. Number three, eat the frog. Eat the frog, I guess. Mark Twain said, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat two frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. So whatever the biggest task is, whatever the priority is, go after that one first. Is this process, this methodology? That is what eating the frog is. So figuring out what the priority is and prioritizing that first. I believe that if you have, a big task that does feel overwhelming, that you can break it down into smaller tasks. But they may say that, and this, I don't know if they're going to, so that you don't feel overwhelmed, you don't feel paralyzed, and you don't procrastinate. In addition to that, you might also do it during your most productive time of the day, whatever that is, so that way you can take advantage of the momentum that you get in that window that's already there. Number five is take regular breaks. Absolutely. Make sure that you're taking breaks throughout the day, every, maybe 25 minutes. Take a break, get away, step away. This e-commerce journey for some, if you're a solopreneur, can be lonely. And, as a solopreneur, that means you're doing it all in your business. Some, that model works perfectly. And for others, maybe you have a small team, but you have a small team around a certain time of the year or a certain time of day. For me, I have a small team, but I only have them like a certain time of the year. I am about, I would say, about a 75% solopreneur. So, I do have some people that help me in my e-commerce business, but it really sort of picks up during Q4 more than anything else. But the team that I have in place, I'm grateful for them. So, figure that out, and make sure that you're getting away, because sometimes it just can be a lonely journey. Connect with other people that are also on your journey from time to time. So then that way you can mastermind together. Number six, say no and delegate. Again, moving those things off of your list, and delegating it to someone else. But the better thing is saying no. Every once in a while, we come across an amazing opportunity for some inventory. Every once in a while, we take on amazing opportunity for whatever it happens to be. Like somebody found a deal, somebody this, somebody that, and they think of you, and they're like, "Do you want this? You want in on it? We can go have these, whatever." And not every deal is meant to be made. Not every awesome inventory find is meant to be sold by you. Um, so sometimes it's okay to say no, especially if you have a rhythm going. And if whatever this deal is going to require you to triple the amount of time that you're spending doing whatever. And your goal is ultimately just to be able to spend time with your family and your kids, or just to have more time freedom, or to reduce your stress. And this deal is just going to bring you more stress or anxiety, or it could put your account in jeopardy. So it's okay to say no. Just be prepared to do that. Sometimes it's okay to say no. Number seven, focus and block distractions. Absolutely. Figuring out, I do time blocks. And so being able to focus on one task at a time, turning off your phone, turning off email, turning off a bunch of different things, so that way you can block distractions. Now, you wouldn't know that by looking at my awesome screen because I normally have multiple tasks going, but that's probably from work that's carried over. But in any case, yes, minimize your distractions. So if you need to just have one window open and go into a secondary window. So it's just that, and do that. Number 8, set goals. Always set goals. Make sure that you are setting goals in your business. There's so many different ways in which to set goals. You can use the eCom planner to set and track your goals, but make sure that you always have a goal on what it is that you want to achieve in your business. If you ultimately want to be $1 million seller, then do that. I mean, like, you have to know what it's going to take to do that. So divide that $1 million by the remaining number of uh, days in the year, the remaining number of weeks in the year, the remaining number of months in the year, the remaining number of quarters in the year, so that you know what you're shooting for if that's your ultimate goal. If your goal is just to get your first sale, make sure that you have a time frame in which you're shooting for that. But always be setting goals. If your goal is to get better at keyword research or to get better at product research, again, make sure you're putting steps in place so you can do that, but also have a time frame in which to do that, and make sure you're measuring whether or not you're making progress towards that. So always have some level of goals. Number 9, stop multitasking. Well, I talked about that. So I use time blocks, having a dedicated window in which you focus on one singular task. Now, here's the deal. If I say that I'm listing, we know that there's a boatload of subtasks in that one task alone. All of that, including, creating your titles, your descriptions, getting your images, doing your keyword research, like all of that is part of that. Your pricing, what's your shipping method going to be, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff that goes into a listing. But it is a window in which I'm focused on all of that entire routine. So, if you have a time block where you're doing just product research, be specific on what that is and focus 100% on that. Trying to do product research and then also going to go do sourcing and then also creating listings and also, like, let's separate out your day. You can separate it into 30-minute blocks, you can separate it in an hour, but focus on one thing at a time. Trying to do it all at the same time, your progress, you're not going to feel like you're making as much progress. So work on focusing on one thing at a time. Number 10, allocate your time. Well, I just said that. So allocating your time doing time blocks, making sure that you have a dedicated window in which you work in your business. So this is the one thing when I'm sitting down, working with people, coaching people, I go through, I'm like, let me see your schedule. And then they don't have a schedule, or they do and it's random. And I'm like, okay, you don't even have a dedicated time of day in which you work on your business. So create a habit or routine around that. Let's start with, if it's the morning, then commit to acting like maybe it's a job, treating it like a job. So clocking in at 9 o'clock in the morning and clocking out at 12 o'clock if that's the case, but not letting anything else bleed into that time. Don't answer phone calls. Don't allow your neighbor to stop in and talk about your roses in your front yard. Let's not have a long conversation. Like, this is your work time. So if it is your work time, this is where you're going to make your money. Let's focus during that window and allot time. So that's the thing that I find over and over again, that people will have some random goals for their e-commerce business. They may have a random schedule, but that schedule really isn't a committed amount of time. Like, oh, okay, well, I want to make sure today I do some sourcing and some shipping. I'm like, when are you doing that? Well, I got to take the kids to school. I'm like, okay, you need a work schedule. Because inevitably, again, when you go back and look at your most productive time of the day, if you are doing other stuff during that most productive time of the day that has nothing to do with your business, now sometimes it's important to do that, but your goal is not to build a routine and to not let anything bleed into that most productive time of the day where you can be making the most money. I mean, your sales could go up exponentially just because you focus. So consider that. Think about it. Try that. All right. So next is number 11, which is create a morning routine. Absolutely. For some people, it's about getting up, getting that coffee, meditating in the silence for a little bit, just so they can reset and focus. Sometimes it's about, getting up, reading your Bible. Some people get up, they walk the dog, or they go for a run. Whatever your morning routine is, figure out what it is so that you can consistently execute that. And if you have a morning routine that involves kids, my goal is ultimately to help my kids be as independent as possible. So I'm hoping that's also your goal. And that should maybe be one of the things that you strive for, long-term, bigger picture, so you can get time back. Because the more independent your kids are, that they're able to go through the morning routine without you nagging them, yelling at them, following up behind them 100%. That's more time that you can commit to something else, especially if the morning is your most productive time of the day. So, figure out your morning routine situation. Go back and look at your current morning routine situation, see what you can do to improve it. And if you don't have a routine, establish one. Begin the process. Think about what you already do. And let's start with that. There are some things that you already do. If you already get up every morning and drink coffee and you kind of feel like you stare at the wall for about 15 minutes, then do that. Put that on the list. Number 12, exercise. Absolutely. Get up, exercise, or whenever you decide to exercise, just get moving. Even if it's a 5-minute dance break in the middle of the day, I talk about that you can take advantage of that opportunity since you're a solopreneur of just turning on your favorite song and dancing like nobody's watching. Okay. Don't dance so hard that you have a heart attack, but definitely, get moving, get the blood pumping, get the blood flowing, because that actually will help with your focus later on. Number 13, use tools. There's so many different tools using a time tracking tool. So I use the little alarm clocks. I use alarm clocks on my phone. You hear them all the time, unfortunately. I use the alarm clocks to help me remember what the next task is. I use the little kitchen timers if I'm going to work for like an hour or 30 minutes uninterrupted. So there's different things that you can use to help you, different tools to help you with the time tracking. To-do lists, using a planner. You can use online lists. You can use your Google Calendar. There's so many different tools that you can use. Maybe there's an app that you'd like to try and use that to help you with your organization and time management. Communication tools. If you've got a team, what is your tools that you're using to communicate? And then other tools that might help you in your business along the way. Some people use product research tools. People use keyword research tools. There's inventory tracking tools. There's inventory management tools, like tools that are going to streamline your life. Now, the one thing I will say about tools, they're awesome, but I want to encourage you not to get sucked into the vortex of using tools or buying tools when you're not profitable. I don't encourage you to go out and buy all these tools and then struggle to make enough money so that way you can cover the expense of the tools. The goal is to become profitable first. Always profit first. Then once you're into profit and you are making money and it's consistent, even if it's the hard start, it will be okay. Then gradually add one tool at a time, making sure that you always stay profitable along the way. But figure out which tools are going to help you on your journey. And so with that, is that it? Am I done with it? Nope. Reward yourself. Number 14, reward yourself. Definitely reward your success, reward your progress. That would encourage you to do that. And number 15 is to communicate. Communicating with your family, communicating with your team. Definitely communicate with your family. Hey, this is my dedicated time that I work in my business. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't bother me. Please, go do something else. Go watch TV for an hour. So figure out what your strategy is going to be to keep your kids distracted if you have kids. But if you don't have kids, letting people know I'm not answering the phone. So a person that I met this year, they said they turn on a text message that sends an automatic message back to the person when they get phone calls or when they get text that says, I'm working right now. If it's not an emergency, I'll call you back after I'm done. And so, whatever that time is, and so if it's they work in their business until 12 or they work in their business till 1, I'll call you back after 1. That kind of helps so that people don't blow up your phone. And if it is an emergency, then they'll call back and say, this is an emergency, like something major is happening. And you can deal with it then. That allows you to be able to focus, turn that ringer off, and just really focus on your business, and also turn off notifications. But communicating that to your family, letting them know, hey, this is when mommy's working, this is when daddy's working, or your spouse, this is when I'm going to be working in the business, and allowing you to have that focused time, because you make more progress when you have uninterrupted time versus multiple interruptions. You got to go back and think about where you were. And that's called a pattern interruption. It is annoying because you have to remember what was that thing you were just doing or thinking about, or where were you going, what website was I going to, or whatever it happens to be. So I hope that this information helps you. I hope that you use it in your e-commerce business. I hope it's a blessing to you on your e-commerce journey. I'm going to reset the room real quick, and we're going to move on. So my name is Nicole Whitlock, and I'm with eCom Sellers, and my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, to help them to get organized, to stay consistent, to stay focused in their e-commerce business, and to be productive. If that's you, I'm here for you, and I'm here to help. So you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on freebies, and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session. In addition to that, if you need some support, some help, some guidance along the way, you can join eCom Sellers Academy, where you will join an amazing community of e-commerce sellers like yourself. So you'll be able to mastermind and talk with them about where you are on your e-commerce journey. In addition to that, you can participate in our live weekly training sessions and also our live weekly Q&A if you choose to. In addition to that, you will have access to our library of over 200 training videos that will cover every method and approach to e-commerce that there is. So I encourage you to come hang out with us. It's $17.99 a month. If you sign up for the lifetime, you get the free eCom planner. So with that, if you sign up for the lifetime, you'll get a free planner. That way you don't have to pay for it. And you don't ever have to make any payments again. For eCom Sellers Academy, you have lifetime access. So you can go over to ecomsellersacademy.com to join. And regarding the eCom planner, I do want to encourage you to grab one. Getting organized in your business so that you can make the progress that you want to make and achieve the goals that you want is so important. So go grab the eCom planner. You can go to myecomplanner.com. Again, myecomplanner.com. You can download the digital version or use the physical version of the planner and help you on your e-commerce journey to make the progress that you've always wanted to make in your business. So with that, we are going to go through our daily e-com planning checklist. You can download the e-com planning checklist from the e-commerce planning Facebook group. So go directly to the e-commerce planning Facebook group, go to the files section and download the daily e-com planning checklist. In addition to that, I invite you to come join me tomorrow for the weekly planning session. It is on Saturdays and it's in the morning at around 7 o'clock. So join us for the Saturday econ planning session and this Sunday. I know it's Memorial Day weekend, but I still invite you to come. You can join us you can download the weekly planning checklist there in the e-commerce planning Facebook group as well. It's in the file section. And this weekend, you can join us for the monthly econ planning session. We're planning for the month of June because this is the last full week of May, okay? And we're going into June, which means we're going into the tail end of quarter 2. And that means quarter 3 is right next door. So the monthly planning session allows you to plan for your success in the month of June and to finish out Q2 strong. So join us Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. We don't do this every Sunday. We just do it the last Sunday of the month. You can download the checklist directly from the e-commerce planning Facebook group. All right, so I am looking at the daily e-com planning checklist. We're going to burn through this. The first thing is that I encourage you to invest 15 minutes or 5 minutes before you go to bed. There's 4 things that I want you to do. The first one is to assess your day. Review your day. Let's see what happened on either your schedule, your goals, your checklist, what got done, what didn't get done, what do you need to move to tomorrow or move to next week, what you complete. Let's celebrate the things that you did complete. Like sometimes it is a struggle just to get through different things because you have a lot of stuff going on in your personal life. And, this week was a little hard for many different reasons. Like the kids are home for the first time, well, for the summer. But, I live in Texas. And so this was a rough week in Texas. Very, very rough week in Texas. So just staying focused and not really thinking about everything that's happening and making progress there. So a challenge of juggling where you are mentally on this journey and emotionally on this journey can sometimes take a heavy toll. So don't beat yourself up on this journey. We celebrate the things that we do get done and we continue to move forward, pick up the pieces and move forward as much as we can. So going through and assessing your day and seeing where you are for the day and what you did get done. Let's assess Thursday and let's see what happened. Let's go through the checklist and what progress did we make? What are the things we got done, we didn't get done, and what do we need to move over to another day? Number 2 is that we go through and we update our daily tracking stats. So in your daily tracking stats, again, how many listings did you create? What were your sales? What was your profits? What were your expenses? What was your mileage? How many hours did you actually work in your business? Like there's a whole list of things that we're tracking, and all of that's in your ecom planner, my ecom planner. So you can track it there. You can put it in your own planner, whatever works for you. But let's track those stats. We always want to be tracking to see where we are. At the end of the year, we want to flip through that book and not see a blank place. where you had the opportunity to note what your stats were for your business. That helps to increase your awareness and knowing where you are in your business, what's happening. Number three is to review your online calendar. So, what are the things that are on your online calendar today that need to happen, need to get done? Let's go through that and let's look at it. Let's not be overwhelmed by it or react to our schedule. Let's plan for our schedule. So go through and look at your online calendar, your personal one, the one for your business if you created an online calendar, and also um, if you have a job, your 9 to 5, go look at that. Don't be surprised when you have things that you need to do in your, at your job, and then you're overwhelmed. You're like, or frustrated. And then number four is to build your schedule for tomorrow. So this is things that you're doing right before you go to bed. Thursday night, not Tuesday night, Thursday night. Go through that process and write down your schedule. If you have participated in the weekly planning session, then hopefully you've already got a Friday schedule already built. It's called your actual schedule. So go extract your actual schedule. And if you haven't already put it in your planner, put it in your planner or review it. It's already in your planner and use that actual schedule to drive what you're going to be doing on Friday. So the next thing is this morning, right now. Get up, have that coffee, go stretch, go yawn multiple times, go for a walk the dogs, walk yourself so you can get out in nature and just be able to breathe and think. So I'm going to encourage you to spend either 5 to 15 minutes to do this. You have 5 action steps for today. The first one is to review yesterday. We review the day before for many different reasons, but the main reason is to always be learning from the schedule. What are the things that you did or did not get done? And there might be a reason why. And number 2 is to work at building a better schedule for the future. So you want to build a better Thursday schedule. Maybe you'll find a pattern over time that you're not able to get Thursdays activities done consistently. Is there a reason why? There might be something that's happening on Thursdays that you never really paid attention to. And so maybe you need to adjust your Thursday schedule because there's this thing that happens every Thursday that you really just had not paid attention to until you notice the pattern. So we're working to build a better schedule. And then the third thing is that we're working to account for where we're spending time, wasting time, investing time, and where we potentially have the opportunity to improve processes so we can buy back time. So go through and let's reassess and let's see how Thursday really went and reassess that. Step 2 of the process is to review your weekly priorities or your weekly habits, along with step 3, reviewing your monthly goals. So you establish your monthly goals. You establish around 20 to 25 goals every single month. Where are you on your journey? Because this is the last full week of May. You'd only have a couple more days next week. So that's it. So hopefully you are through the majority of the goals for the month. If not, you got some work to do. The next thing is reviewing the week. So this is the last full week of May. What are the priorities for this week and where are you? Because today is Friday. Did you get through the priorities? Are there certain priorities that can only be done Monday through Friday? Because today's Friday. So you might want to make adjustments if you need to your schedule, or can you get those things done tomorrow? So make a note of that. And also, what are the weekly habits that you're tracking? These can be weekly habits in your business, or these can be weekly habits that are personal to you. If it's walking, if it's exercising, if it's drinking water, if it is creating listings, if it's doing product research, whatever it happens to be, what are the things that you're tracking every single day that you feel like maybe I'm not doing that very well and it would help me if I tracked it. So establishing that and going through and doing your weekly tracking. And then the next thing is step 4 of this process is to kind of review today's schedule. You wrote it out yesterday. Now, based on the information that you kind of reassessed, do you need to rewrite it? Maybe you do. Maybe you need to make some adjustments. If you do, rewrite it and then review it again. Read it out loud to yourself. Speak it into existence. So the night before we built it, and over the night, our subconscious mind thought about it. And then the day of, we reread it out loud to ourselves, speaking it into existence. And so now you will be able to step through your day with a little more focus, a little more concentration, and actually making a little more progress. You'll find that over time, if you consistently do this over and over and over again, your productivity is going to improve. because you're stepping through your day with intention. You're making intentional decisions and taking intentional action in your business. And so your productivity from last year to this year is going to be like, wow, last May, my productivity was this, or I had this much in sales. And this year, like my sales have doubled. What happened, even in the midst of inflation? I wonder what's different. Well, maybe it's because you got focused and you improved your productivity by visualizing the day in advance. So that can help. Try that exercise. It might actually work for you. And last but not least, step 5 is to write out your schedule for tomorrow. So write out your schedule for Saturday and Sunday, and you might also want to do Monday because Monday's a Memorial Day. Do all 3. Write it out in advance. Take some time today. Maybe invest 15 minutes in actually writing out your schedule for the next 3 days, just in case. Now, if you got plans for your family, definitely take advantage of the opportunity to spend time with your family and friends, to love on them, to hug them, to let them know how much you appreciate them and how much you do love them. Um, and so if you don't want to work in your business, don't work in your business. Don't be stressed about it and don't beat yourself up. Invest the time where you feel like it is important now, where you are in your life and where you are in your headspace. And then last but not least, as you're on this journey, make sure that you're paying attention or being aware of any distractions that might be coming up, things that might impact or disrupt or interrupt your momentum that you are working to implement in your business, things that are going to impact your routine or impact your schedule in any kind of way, and prepare for those things. Now, these are not emergencies, these are just known things that because you haven't been paying attention to things that are coming up, they're like a surprise for you, but they're really not a surprise, and you're reacting to them. So instead of reacting to them, why don't you plan for them and incorporate them or fold them into your schedule, your routine, or make adjustments to your schedule or your routine to accommodate them? So go through that, see what's coming up. Maybe it's doctor's appointments, maybe it's dentist appointments, maybe it's uh, you know, VBS, Vacation Bible School. Maybe you're sending your kids to Vacation Bible School the first week of school. And so that school is out. And so therefore you need to, drop them off at 9 o'clock and pick them up from VBS at 12 o'clock. And so that means it's probably going to impact your routine if that's when you normally work in your business. If it's something that's worth it, just make adjustments. Figure out how to make adjustments. Maybe get up an extra hour early so you can account for that time that you're going to lose during drive time. What I used to do with VBS is I actually used to take my laptop with me, and I used to work in the car during VBS. So again, it's an opportunity. Work outside the church in your car so that you don't lose that 3 hours of productivity and make the progress that you need to make. There's so many different strategies you can implement. So try that. Also think about, if you're going to be away because you're going to take a vacation, how do you tackle staying productive while you're on vacation when you're supposed to be unplugging? Maybe you increase your listings the week before and the week after. Maybe you create more templates, so you go out and save drafts of listings so that way you don't fully lose that momentum. If you created a bunch of extra drafts, what you could do is while you're on vacation, release a couple of drafts every single day. That way you don't lose your momentum in your business. So think about it, plan for it, and prepare for it. So I hope this information is helpful to you on your e-commerce journey. I hope you use it and implement it in your business. If you are finding value in this information, please share this out with someone. Let somebody else know about this session and come back and, join us tomorrow. So definitely let a friend know. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and this is the daily eCom planning session, our morning eCom motivation. My prayer, my wish, my hope, my hope for you, really, it really is that you have an extremely highly productive, extremely focused, and successful day, extremely profitable too. And with that, we'll say goodbye for now. Bye, guys.